Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, folks. Michael Zuber, one rental at a time, back with my mentor, Greg Dickerson, who's always there for me, always there to ask for help and guide me along the way. So how you doing, Mr. Dickerson?
Doing great, Michael. Good to see you.
I appreciate it, man. You are on the road looking at deals. I thought I would share with you something I started doing this morning. I actually have done it every year for the past decade. I frankly fish for I call it the deal of the decade, which means it's an outsized return from just a normal great deal, right? I talk about average, good, great, but I always try to get that big deal between Thanksgiving and New Year's, because I'm trying to fish for that person that has to close, right? Because not everybody has the financial wherewithal to close. So I thought I would tell you what I started doing this morning and see if you kind of see it, think it's a good idea, or if I'm just being crazy.
Well, before you do that, why Thanksgiving to New Year's? Why aren't you looking for that all year long?
Well, I am certainly looking for it all year long, but I use the calendar, the impending calendar event. Some people have to sell because of taxes. As the days get short, the buyers that have the ability to close get smaller and smaller. So I've had most success between Thanksgiving and New Year's. I'm fishing for it all the time. Usually comes seller financing. They can come anytime, but I've found most success between Thanksgiving and New Year's.
Yeah, well, I just want to caution everybody. The deal of the decade comes along every day, all year long.
Agreed.
The key is you got to be out there looking and you got to be ready to pounce when it shows up. But anyways, we'll use your model, sense of urgency for others,
right?
Not you necessarily. They got to sell something to pay taxes or whatever. So yeah.
So again, folks, I think Greg did the right thing there. You should be looking for this all the time. You never know when they've happened. Again, I've done a deal of the decade, probably 8 out of the last 10 or 12 years. Probably more than half was during this time frame, but fair point. The other half came, February or June or whenever, because you just don't know when they're going to happen. But yeah, so what I started doing this morning is I've been creating a list of properties in my market, mainly single family homes, that kind of smell different, right? There's something about them that's not selling. And again, I'm in a market that single family homes sell fast, even today, right? Pending home sales were up. They're not crashing. They're up, even though rates are up. But some properties sit. So for example, one that I was signing this morning, it is an estate sale, which means someone passed away. The kids are on it. It's in a decent area, not the best, not the worst. But here's the deal. A lot of the buyers in my market today are FHA buyers, right? An FHA buyer would normally buy this house. Unfortunately, the kids do not have the money to do the required repairs, right? There's just enough stuff wrong with it, which means an FHA buyer is a non-starter. This property now has been on the market, I think, 28 days, which is like forever in my market. And I've been tracking this for a little while. So what I did is I wrote up an offer for $200,000 cash, closed before Christmas. The list price is, I think, $275,000. So this is an example of me trying to take advantage of a compelling event. For this example, I put it before Christmas because I'm like, hey, you want your money for Christmas? You want to buy lots of gifts? Hey ho, let's go. I put $50K earnest money down. So again, I'm just trying to use time and what little I know about the seller to figure it out. That's just one of many offers I've written in the last couple of days.
Yeah. And for lots, for, vacant lots to build on, and for single family and some commercial, actually, a couple of commercial deals, some of the best deals I've ever gotten were estate deals. Where, somebody passes away and the family just wants to liquidate and they're looking for the, quickest, easiest solution. Some of them are easier than others. I've had some where there's multiple heirs.
Yeah.
And I mean,
there's always that one,
to get multiple heirs all over the country, a couple outside the country. It took over a year to get all the signatures together, but it was a great, deal. It was a commercial deal. And, it turned out to be one of the best ones that I ever had. I had an owner finance deal, 30-year, owner finance deal in a commercial building that I put a business in one time, estate deal, where somebody passed away, left it to the kids. And they were like, we don't want to sell, we don't want to pay taxes, but we'd like the income. So they just did a 30-year owner finance thing. So the key is, number one, you got to be looking. Number two, identify the opportunities. Like you said, every market right now, no matter how hot, there's why. And then when it goes to the sellers, what's their motivation, and where can you identify an opportunity to make a deal? Because it's not always just the price.
No,
could be something else. Could be they need help getting rid of stuff and they don't want to deal with it. Could be they need to stay in it, and use it for a while and, close now and give you possession later. I mean, could be any number of ways that you could cut that deal. So you always want to dig in and ask questions and then go deeper, tell me more. Oh, well,
Mhm.
that's interesting. Tell me about that. Just
Yes.
keep digging deeper and deeper and deeper till you uncover what the true motivation is and where the best, opportunity is for everybody.
Yeah, and that is exactly what my agents that I work with and I are trained. Right, we basically have a conversation. Why am I doing this? What I want you to dig for? What I want you to ask for? Because again, this is the first offer, and we can get really creative. For example, maybe the family does want income. Great, let's do seller financing. I've done seller financing deals at 0% interest. Yes, it's possible, not common, but possible. I've done many at 1% interest.
Yeah,
So
so 0%, I call that payment still paid. So when you do an owner finance deal, you just throw it out and just say, I'll give you your asking price if you'll let me pay it off over 30 years. So I'll give you, $1,000 a month, for the next 30 years until it's paid off. So
exactly.
zero interest financing. That's the deal that we did on that commercial building. It was zero interest. They just actually it was a 40-year. It was a 40-year note.
Woo!
Yeah. And I don't know, it was 500 grand, and we just divided that by 40 years, and that's how much we paid them every month, and they were totally happy.
Yeah, it's just again, you got to dig for one of the things again I share with what I'm doing on my channel. But again, if you're a real estate agent, you are in the. I'm still amazed at how few real estate agents invest. Right, first opportunities, you get people coming to your offices all the time. I think the average real estate agent needs to buy more property. I know I took a left turn on you, but what do you think of that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm coaching a number of people that are real estate professionals, commercial and residential, that are getting into development, getting into investing for that reason. They realize, man, I'm an expert, but I don't know how to invest. I'm
Yeah.
helping clients, but they're specializing in areas and they don't understand the next level. But yeah, absolutely. Anybody and everybody who's in the real estate game, you need to leverage that skill set into investing. There's just so many advantages of real estate. I mean, I think it's probably the best asset class out there now. In this time that we're in the market cycle, you're not going to get the exponential returns that you can, get in other types of riskier assets. But real estate, I mean, it's traditionally been, the place where the wealthy, and wealthiest of our, of the world store their wealth. You get tax advantages, you can leverage. I mean, there's so many advantages in real estate. Yeah, absolutely. And what happens with real estate professionals is they get too caught up in the transactional aspects of it, and they see it as a transaction, not as an investment, not as a wealth building tool or vehicle. But not everybody, some do. And a lot of them, especially in the investment space, are working for other investors. And that's where the light bulb went off for me. I was doing construction side, working for investors, and I started asking them, why are you doing this? Why
Mm.
are you buying these houses? I mean, I was working for one guy that was a VP of Citibank. This dude, had a wine cellar that was worth over, $2 or $3 million. He raced Ferraris on the weekends.
Wow.
The dude had a net worth in the, 50 plus million range, somewhere around there. And I'm like, why are you buying these houses and doing this instead of doing these other things? And he broke it down for me and showed me accelerated depreciation, leverage, all these different things. And, so that's where I learned, so you got to ask questions, when you're in the real estate profession. If you have clients that are doing things, ask them why. Why are you doing that? Why wouldn't you, why versus other things? And, learn and glean that information. And, it's interesting what you can learn, and, how you can get started working for these other people.
No, that's amazing. Do me a favor. How can people get part of your world?
Yeah, gregdickerson.com. That's where all my info is. Go check it out.
Thanks, buddy.